Good afternoon, good night, wherever you are in the internet world. Welcome to another edition of Golden Independence, right here with the Billionaires Plate and DDA. Yeah, just give you a little bit of my surroundings where we're at. So look, I told you I'm gonna be keep doing these lives because the energy is that impactful. Bless up liberation. Yes, it's that impactful. The energy is that impactful. This is more than a Duracell battery. It's more than Energizer for comparison. I tell you, vitamin B. Have you had your vitamin B this morning? Huh? I'm talking about waking up to Bitcoin in your Bitcoin wallet because that's what this community is doing regarding BitHarvest. We're waking up to Bitcoin every day being mined. Yeah, being mined. And what we need to do, right? I'm telling you, we need to start focusing our minds on Satoshis and how many Satoshis we can acquire for $1 before parity, right? Once upon a time, one Bitcoin equaled a penny. Once upon a time, one Bitcoin equaled $1. Once upon a time, one Bitcoin used to equal $100, so on and so forth, and here we are, right? Now one Bitcoin is at $100,000. Don't look at Bitcoin to try and get a hold of Bitcoin. The new Bitcoin is going to be the Satoshi. And right now, the Satoshi is not in parity with the penny. And indoors, it's going to be a major indicator, a major bell ring to the elite. Not that one Satoshi will be one penny, but one Bitcoin will be the value of $1 million. See, when it reaches $1 million, that's when the billionaires are definitely going to be looking at it and moving their assets into it. When you think of $1 billion, $1 million is nothing, right? $1 million is nothing to a billionaire. They'll take 100 million. They'll take 100 million just to get 100 coins. Simple. 100 Bitcoin, and they'll use that 100 Bitcoin to start the next Bitcoin bank. How much you need to start a bank? Think of it like that. How much money, cash, does it do would one need to start a bank? If you consider that, that's how much Bitcoin will be bought when Bitcoin reaches 1 million. And then the banks of the future will be based around those banks in terms of how, because if it takes 100 million, you could definitely see people creating banks, Bitcoin banks, where the backing is 100 Bitcoin, not 600,000 that's sitting on exchanges. I'm telling you, the exchanges that we see right now, the exchanges of the future are going to be trading Satoshis. I'm going to say that again. The exchanges, these same exchanges, they're not going to be trading Bitcoin like how you're seeing hundreds of thousands of Bitcoin. They're going to be trading Satoshis. And all the Bitcoin is going to be held with corporations, banks, nations, cities, states. That's right. Because it's being recognized. It's being recognized as an asset. It's being validated as a real asset. And the time frame that it's taken for this transition, if you look at, if you look, even gold, even if you look at how long it took for gold to integrate, to get integrated into the traditional finance system, but look how long it took for it to slip away. It doesn't take long for an economy to crash when you snip away the gold relation to the economy. But to have it even integrated for you to snip it away, that took thousands of years. It took thousands of years for gold to reach the state of where everybody agrees or had agreed that it's an asset or that it's money. It took thousands of years for the whole world to agree on it. Consider this, ladies and gentlemen. It has taken 15 years. It has taken less than 20 years. 20. It has taken less than 20 years for the entire world, right, to gain consensus on Bitcoin. That's a major deal. We really need to put this thing in perspective. When you have global entities gaining consensus around this asset that has already been tried and tested, that you cannot stop it, you can't ban it, you can't prevent the transactions, you can't stop the transactions, you can't take away from the individual unless you have the permission, or you gotta roll up on them, right? Like how the FBI rolled up on the guy that was in charge of the Silk Road site for using Bitcoin for illegal activity. They rolled up on him. That's how they were able to seize that Bitcoin. That's how they were able to seize the Bitcoin. Right? Bitcoin is up 3% right now. How about that? Right now, it's going up 3%. And here you are, not even considering. I mean, we don't even get 3% a year if you're saving, quote unquote, saving your money in a bank. Look at that. I'm mining assets, right? My BitHarvest account, my BitHarvest BitBooster is mining my assets, and I just got an increase of 3% on it. I just got 3% on the value of my asset with my accumulation. As I continue to accumulate the Satoshis. But not only do I get to accumulate the Satoshis, the amount of Satoshis that I'm accumulating are increasing in value. So it may be $1 to or $4 today, but in the future, the same Satoshis as Bitcoin keeps going, right? It's soon gonna be 400 a day. And when you do 400 times 30, do 400 times 30, ladies and gentlemen. You see that? 400 times 30. That's per month with just 400. Now watch this. Now what I like about BitHarvest is that either way, whether it's the price of Bitcoin or you can finance, you can decide how you want to finance your future with BitHarvest, where you can be active and get as many boosters as you want. Because now that we know right? That the value of the Satoshis is going to increase. Another way how you could pay yourself first, if you want to use the system to pay yourself first, then the common sense thing to do would be to acquire more boosters. Like, for example, instead of putting $1,000 just to get Bitcoin to hold in a wallet, take that same $1,000 and buy a booster, or exchange my fiat money to acquire a BitBooster, a full BitBooster, and I do that 10 times. So now, watch this. So now, when Bitcoin goes to 1 million, because I believe that all of us can agree, consensus, that Bitcoin is going to go to 1 million in the next 2 years, at least. It's highly likely that we're going to reach $1 million next year. We know that it's going to 1 million next year, right? When it does go to 1 million, the $4 will turn into 40. But now that we've got 10 bit boosters, the 40 now becomes 400 because you got 10 boosters. Because you've built up 10 boosters. So at $1 million, right, you're getting cash flow. You're getting cash flow of $400 a day. Therefore, which equals to approximately, right, which will equal approximately 120,000 a month. 120,000 a month. Huh? Now, when you do that times 12 every month, you're looking at $1 million business a year. Yes, that's right. That's right. I know you trolls don't like to hear that. Yes, I know the trolls don't like to hear that. When I start talking like that, they jump off the live. They jump off the live. Or, it's quite possible that you don't have the time freedom like me. You know, you could be working for somebody else's dream. You could be, working somebody else's, for somebody else's passion, living somebody else's life. Remember, if you are not charting your own life, somebody else will chart it for you. So I get it. But hey, I know that some of you who come on and get off, you get off at certain times. Like, for example, when I start talking that Bitcoin via BitHarvest, because if you don't understand Bitcoin, you're definitely not gonna get BitHarvest. And I get it. I didn't really understand BitHarvest when I saw it, because I was still in my Bitcoin learning. But I'm thankful, because the more I dug into Bitcoin, I started to see that the next wave, what everybody's talking about, the next wave of the future millionaires and billionaires is the mining. Everybody's trying to get into the mining space. And how do we make the mining industry efficient? Well, the BitHarvest team is one of those teams that is first on the ground with the digital mining. I haven't seen anything else. Everything else is at a higher price point, right? Everything else is a higher, or the price point is well above $1,000, and your web fees on top of your investment of buying into a miner, right? To mine satoshis. Okay, with this it's a straight up one-time turnover, and you have access forever. My goodness, how much do you want to pay yourself first, right? because the wealth is going to come slowly, and then all of a sudden. That's how the rich become wealthy. First it's very slow. It happens slowly, and then all of a sudden, right? So during the next 6 months, or during the next year, during the next 12 months, we're going to be looking at accumulating 10 boosters. We're going to be looking at accumulating 10 boosters in order to be paid $400 a day. That's freedom in any country, because 100 grand is still good. It's still good anywhere, even right here in Bermuda, even right here. If you're generating 100 grand a month, that's somebody's salary. 100 grand a month. And in Bermuda, it's tax free. There are no laws with the interchange. So in places like Bermuda, we have this, we could take advantage of when we do exchange or sell. And we don't have to worry about selling because we are the producers. It's like owning a garden, right? Do you worry about, when you are the farmer, you don't, food is one thing that you don't have to worry about. If you're a farmer, because you have access to the eggs, you have access to the meat, you have access to the milk, you have access to it. You have direct access to it. Matter of fact, you are the one that's bringing it to the market. This is what BitHarvest. This is the opportunity of BitHarvest. Yes, you can hodl. You can hodl your tokens if you want. However, if Bitcoin is for everybody, the only way how the rest of the world is going to get into it or get into Bitcoin is when persons like us sell, i.e. the miners. For example, the supply shock hasn't really caught up to the price because companies like MicroStrategy and BlackRock, they are getting they're getting their Bitcoin for now from the miners. So we're not seeing the activity through the exchanges yet. However, that day is coming rapidly. And like I said, when that happens, watch the supply of the Satoshis because it's going to go real quick. We're talking about the US taking 200,000 right off the rip. 200,000. That's going to drain at least one exchange. That's going to drain at least one exchange. And that's just one country. That's one country. Right? The US is connected to Kraken and Coinbase. And I believe it has something in their procedure that they speak specifically to Kraken and Coinbase. So if you look at the amount of tokens, the amount of Bitcoin that's on the Kraken exchange and the Coinbase exchange, those coins will be gone in 2 years. Those exchanges alone will be drained in 2 years. Just from the US. The US alone would have those two exchanges battling over Satoshis. That's right. Meaning it's going to create a huge arbitrage. So imagine this. There's also going to be opportunities for arbitrage, ladies and gentlemen. Arbitrage, meaning if you're on another, if you got Bitcoin from Binance, because Binance, the Bitcoin may be at, the value may be at $1 million, right? Bitcoin's at the value is 1.5 million. So if you know how to trade, right? So if you know how to trade, it's another revenue stream. That's why I said by learning how to navigate the ecosystem, the whole crypto ecosystem, don't just buy Bitcoin and hold onto it. Learn the whole ecosystem. So persons like myself, right? Not only will I be getting Bitcoin passively from BitHarvest, I'll also be able to take advantage of the arbitrage opportunities between the different exchanges, including BitHarvest, because at BitHarvest it will price, like I said, at BitHarvest it will highly likely be at that base price. Whereby if I was to move it, if I was to move it, like if I had 1,000, so if Bitcoin's a million, for example, right? If Bitcoin goes to 1 million, and let's say I had $1,000 worth of Bitcoin. So if I had $1,000 worth of Bitcoin, I now move it over to Coinbase. Coinbase has their value at 1.5 million. Well, that means that my $1,000 automatically turns to 1,500. So just by moving my Bitcoin over there, I've made $500. Hello? That's called passive income. That's called passive income. I've made $500 just by moving my Bitcoin over there. And then I cash out, move it back over to another exchange where it's lower, right? Where it's lower, where it's trading at 1 million, and rinse and repeat. Do the same thing. I could be generating $500 every 30 minutes just by doing that, just by going between the exchanges. If you know how to arbitrage, if you want to learn how to arbitrage, you can hit me up. If you want to learn how to trade crypto, you can hit me up, because those times are coming. And people who are in BitHarvest and they know how to trade, we're basically getting free money because we're already signed up to the asset, i.e. BitHarvest, and we're getting these Satoshis daily. So what do you think is going to happen when the Satoshis starts to get to the value of $1,000 a day? $1,000 a day. At the end of the week, we're getting what somebody has to work for a whole month. And this is all dependent on either how many BitBoosters you have or the price of Bitcoin. Either way, we are positioned in a very unique opportunity with BitHarvest to be free. I may just start a whole another channel, like a freedom channel. Like, I'm telling you, but golden independence is good enough, because Bitcoin is the new gold standard. Get yourself on a Bitcoin standard and apply it to everyday life. I strongly encourage every one of you who's watching this, share this video, give a thumbs up, hit subscribe, hit that bell button so you get all of the notifications. And yes, we are here positioned and poised and looking out in the future of where we're going to be. Where you're going to be. I know where I'm going to be. Stacking sets. And relax. Bless up.